जब आपने टेबल टेनिस शुरू किया था तो क्या ये एक हॉबी थी या किसी ने आपके अंदर एक स्पार्क नोटिस किया था इसके थ्रू?
Then the pandemic hit, everything was shut off, lockdown. Somebody I knew told me about that there's this table tennis classes going on in the society and that maybe I should give it a go. And I did.
Bricks came, represented India for the first time. So what was the feeling?
Big honor when you get that coat and you wear it for the first time with the emblem here and India written on the back. It's really, you're filled with pride.
These big level tournaments, what type of training? How difficult is the training?
Small steps make up for a big change, and if you miss those small steps, then you can't reach a higher level.
How school supports you? How much school supported you?
Very much. I didn't want to miss my half-yearly examinations, which were at the time of the Tokyo tournament.
How you feel when you stood up at the podium when you were getting that bronze?
Standing next to some of the world's best players is always an honor. It's always a good feeling to be at the podium.
हेलो एवरीवन और स्वागत है आपका हमारे स्पेशल पॉडकास्ट में। आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसे यंग एथलीट जिन्होंने अपनी डेडिकेशन, रिमार्केबल परफॉर्मेंस और मोटिवेशन के थ्रू टोक्यो के पैरा गेम्स में भारत का नाम रोशन किया, मिस नतानिया जैन। नतानिया, स्वागत है आपका हमारे पॉडकास्ट में।
थैंक यू, आई एम हैप्पी टू बी हियर।
सो नतानिया, मैं अपने क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करने से पहले आपकी अर्लियर जर्नी के बारे में जानना चाहूँगा, टेबल टेनिस के बारे में। जब आपने टेबल टेनिस शुरू किया था तो क्या ये एक हॉबी थी या किसी ने आपके अंदर एक स्पार्क नोटिस किया था इसके थ्रू?
I used to play basketball, which is something I continued for a very long time. I think 4 years or something. And then the pandemic hit, everything was shut off, lockdown. And you get bored being at home, even with online classes and trying to keep up with the academics. It just gets very monotonous after a while. So somebody I knew told me about that there's this table tennis classes going on in the society and that maybe I should give it a go. And I did. I went to a couple of trial classes and I found it really engaging. So I started playing for 1 hour and I didn't even realize when that 1 hour turned into 3 and so on.
Okay. So what were the difficulties or challenges that you were facing when you started table tennis or switched your sport from basketball to table tennis?
I was very confused whether if I should actually change, because it's not like I was bad at basketball either. I was very good, but again, it's a team sport, and if even if one player is not performing well, then the entire performance of the team goes down, and
Yes.
it takes a lot of burden on the captain or the point guard.
Okay. And table tennis is a solo game.
It's an individual sport for the most of
Okay.
the time.
Okay. So which was the first championship that you played?
National level or just school?
No, you can anything.
I think the Ramjas tournament.
Okay, Ramjas tournament.
Yeah, in 8th grade.
Okay, in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was your position?
We got 3rd position. It was my first ever match.
Okay, at your first ever match.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you represented India for the first time at G20 Summit, BRICS came, you represented India for the first time. So what was the feeling?
It's a big honor when you get that coat and you wear it for the first time with the emblem here and India written on the back. It's really, you're filled with pride, but at the same time, you have this sense of responsibility. I have to do something for my country if I'm given this opportunity. And I was 14 at that time, and I had to go alone. My parents couldn't accompany me. That was a little challenging, and because you're young and you don't know what to do, and you're moving to an altogether different continent.
Okay, so I just want to talk about these big level tournaments. What type of training? How difficult is the training?
It is very demanding. You have to put up to a lot of physical exertion, and you have to make sacrifices. You need to be disciplined, focused, concentrated, and you have to miss things that you probably wouldn't want to. You would have to miss events for just to go to class so you don't fall behind, because um, small steps make up for a big change, and if you miss those small steps, then you can't reach a higher level.
Okay, so I was just studying about you before the podcast. So I came to know that you have also participated in para games also
Yeah,
in Tokyo. So I just want to know the reason behind what about the incident happened with you.
it was like this since I was born,
Okay.
actually. So you get used to it. If you're living with something for 16
Yes.
years, you get used to it.
Okay, so you're very strong if you have cope up with this thing and done a tremendous job in table tennis and make our country proud. I'm very much so. I just want to know that what were your routine in while you were training, your drills, your footwork, your reflex trainings.
I would have to go to class at around 6:30 in the morning, and then I would play for I think 3 hours, and then I would go back to school to keep up with my academics. I was in 10th grade.
Yes.
Tokyo, at the time of Tokyo, I was in 11th, but I still wanted to keep up. So I would come back to school. I would go through the day, and then afternoon, may I would come back. I would study, complete my homework, and then it would be time for the evening class. So that 3 hours, 4 hours, and then you need to study as well because homework cannot
Yes.
completely finish everything.
So how school supports you? How much school supported you?
Very much. I didn't want to miss my half yearly examinations, which were at the time of the Tokyo tournament.
Okay.
And I went to my principal, Mr. CB Mishra, and I told him, "Ki, sir, I don't want to miss my half yearly examination. Do you think I should go?" In 11th grade, I had taken a lot of new subjects and I had prepared very well for them, all of which subjects I liked. And he told me that I should just relax and maybe take this because it's important. I have to prioritize my things. So I think I took a good decision by participating in Tokyo.
Of course, of course. And
But
yeah.
yeah, and my teachers as well, they're very accommodating. They're always willing to give me extra classes for the time I missed.
Okay. So was there a lot of hustle with you while coping up with studies and game and practicing and each and everything while you just mentioned that your middle semester exam were
Yeah.
also there, so was there a lot of hustle in your mind going on that I have to prepare for Tokyo also, I have to prepare for this subject also?
Yes, it's always there. And even when my board examinations were going on, my last board was on 18th March, and 2 days later, I had to leave for a national tournament. So you have to prepare for the national tournament while preparing for the board because both of them are equally important. And it's for Tokyo as well. I put a lot of stress on my heart. Ki I have to miss such examination that I've prepared for.
Yes.
I had to put a lot of effort in while uh, studying and playing. That was a little difficult.
Okay, while you were playing the tournament, while you representing India, of course there was a lot of pressure on your
Yeah.
mind that you have to that you are representing your country, you have to play bold. So how did you handle that pressure at that time?
You don't really have time for that. You know that there's a match and I have to perform well. Doesn't matter what the outcome is. I just have to do my best. So you don't have time to calm yourself down and avoid having a panic attack or anything.
Okay, that's nice. So what were the toughest phases of your journey?
Probably resilience. You have to get back up after getting an injury back to training because you don't want to fall behind.
Yes, of course.
And at the same time, you want to juggle with your academics. And uh, I think the biggest problem was because I use one hand for the majority of my things. If I get injured in this hand and it's something bad, then there's nothing I can do for my entire life. It'll almost completely wreck my future.
Okay, so have you been suffered with some of the injuries on
Yeah, I
your leg?
got tennis elbow just a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so
So
how
I
did
was
you
playing.
cope up with that, or how did you came out from that situation?
Both my parents are doctors, so that was a huge help. They would tell me ki, do this here, do that, take a
Okay.
rest.
A lot of exercises and
A lot
all.
of exercises
Yeah, I
and
can
recovery
understand.
training.
Okay. So, um, when you face your self-doubt or your low motivation, how did you manage all these things?
I think my family was played a big role. I'm always apprehensive about things, and my parents would, they didn't let me fall behind even when I was at my lowest. They told me that you need to take things one day at a time, and that sometimes things don't go your way, and that not everything is a lesson. Sometimes you just fail. And of course, my school helped. My teachers were very supportive. They told me it's okay if you miss some examinations. This is more important.
Okay. So, what are the difference between India's practice sessions and Tokyo's practice sessions?
To
What were
be
the differences that you felt over there?
fair, to be fair, it wasn't that difficult when you're training for national matches in India at that particular stadium. Just because it was a international tournament, the stadium is comparatively larger and cleaner.
Okay.
The public facilities are much cleaner there, and the referees and everything during the match as well, it's much more formal and much more strict and compared to national matches in India.
Okay. So, there might be some tight moments in matches that you have played in any of the tournaments. I'm not talking about especially about Tokyo or BRICS. You have played a lot of matches, so there might be some tight moments in the matches. So what was your mindset when you were just losing from 1 point or just the match was going to end in a draw? So what was your mindset at that time?
I just, like I said, you don't have, table tennis is one of the fastest games in the entire
Yes,
world,
yes.
and you have to make split second decisions whether you want to just cross the ball across the net or want to hit it hard. And during the tight moments, you just get a minute of timeout even in matches. So if you're feeling stressed inside, you just have a minute to calm yourself down, and that's when you can actually think about what's going on. You can strategize with your coach, with your guardian. And during, like I said again, tight moments, you don't have much enough time to think about it. You just have to go on.
Okay. क्या कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि आपको एकदम से गुस्सा आया हो कभी कि एक पॉइंट गवा दिया कि ये मेरा वाला पॉइंट था मैंने क्यों दे दिया उसे? कभी कोई एक सिली मिस्टेक पे भी एक पॉइंट चला जाता है तो दिमाग मतलब
हाँ जी।
गुस्सा आ जाता है
हाँ
उसमें
जी।
वरना सामने वाला एक्सेलरेट हो जाता है।
हाँ
तो
जी।
उसका गुस्सा कभी सामने वाले प्लेयर पे निकाला है?
नहीं, वो रेड कार्ड दे देते हैं। यू हैव टू बी वेरी फॉर्मल।
मतलब हमने आज तक टेबल टेनिस देखा है, बहुत ज़्यादा हीटेड कन्वर्सेशन हो जाती है सामने वाले ओपोनेंट से कभी-कभी। तो आपका कभी ऐसा रिएक्शन या कभी ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है वहाँ पे?
No, but I've definitely seen other people just throwing their rackets or something like that. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Okay. So when you won the bronze medal at Tokyo, of course you have tried for gold, but
Yeah.
unfortunately you got
Yeah.
bronze. But that's also a remarkable job. So I just want to know ki, how you feel when you stood up at the podium when you were getting that bronze.
Standing next to some of the world's best players is always an honor. But at the same time, you have this feeling that maybe if I had just put in a little bit more effort, I could have gotten a lot uh, at a better position. And you are disappointed, but at the same time, you're happy that now it's finally over. I can rest, I can get some rest. And
Yes.
yeah, it's always a good feeling to be at the podium.
So how will you describe when you won the final point, when you were competing for bronze medal, when you won the final point? So what was the reaction that you got a medal for India?
I was happy that I got a medal. I was in the top three now. But you, after the quarterfinals, you're thinking of the semifinals.
Yes.
That I have to prepare for the semifinals, and that player is a lot more stronger than I am, more experienced, more older.
Okay.
So you have to think of that, and you don't have much time because 9 o'clock is the quarterfinal, and then 10:30 you have to get ready for the semifinal.
Okay. So when you were going in your journey, your table tennis journey, when you started, then who were the strongest supporters?
My parents, definitely. My coach was my guidance counselor for that.
Okay.
And my parents kept me motivated, made me keep my head held up high. My school supported me, my teachers were there, my family.
Okay. So what's the message that you want to give to students that you know that they lose hope so easily while they're suffering from anything? There are a lot of students that are going through depression throughout the time. So I just want to know that what is the motivation or what is the message that you want to say
I
them?
think I'd just like to say that time doesn't stop for anyone. It goes on, and you just, if you want to keep up with the world, you have to be at your finest. You have to be the best. And when you play, it's not just in the context of sports. Can be a general thing. But if you want to play, you have to play to win. You can't feel bad. Ki this player has played for a longer time than I
Yes.
have, done more efforts than I have, but still I'm winning. How is that fair? You can't be like that. And yes, you have to keep yourself motivated, because even if you have supporters, it can only get you so far. You'll have to think of yourself. You'll have to think about how I'm going to keep myself motivated, how I have to keep myself going.
Okay. So students, how can they cope up with academics and sports together? How can they cope up? What you can tell your schedule that I cope up like this, and so you just don't the student that want to copy you, but at least give them an idea.
I have always been an academically oriented person, and for me, I to juggle both things was obviously a hustle, because you need to think of both things at one. And usually, unfortunately for me, matches and exams are very close to each other, or sometimes even the same date. So if you want to, you have to prioritize things. You want to give that exam or you want to play, and if what is more beneficial, you have to look at the pros and the cons.
Okay. So now I want to ask you, what are your future goals for next tournaments or long-term goals?
I have an upcoming tournament, national tournament in December, and then two more down the line, 2026, February and March, I think. And yeah, I will always be aiming for the gold. And maybe later in 12th grade, after 12th grade, I'll be aiming for some particular colleges while also keeping up with my sports. I don't want to let go of it.
Okay. So in next few years, what are the growth that you're aiming for?
Improvement in both my academics and my sport and height, but that's not something that can be helped now. And yeah, I think sports and my academics, I want to reach a higher level in both of them, maybe get a PhD in my field, and a
Okay.
title, good title in sports.
Okay. So, apart from table tennis, what are your favorite hobbies?
I'm an avid reader. I
Okay.
read a lot. I am particularly interested in mythology,
Okay.
and I play the violin. I have two junior diplomas in that. I did. I think I did it for 7 years, and then with sports and academics, you just have to leave something behind. So got left behind.
So, Natanya, I just want to ask that apart from sports, what are your hobbies in studying? Matlab, what are you studying right now, or what's your future plans in studying?
Well, I'm in 11th grade and I took humanities with psychology, and I think I want to pursue psychology. I would like to, well, I'm more inclined towards forensic psychology, but if there's any way that I can help the sports persons of our country to, cope up with being burnt down, and just with their, because sometimes sports can get frustrating, because sometimes you just can't get it right. Sometimes you are upset at your own self, at your coach, at your opponent, and you need someone to talk to. Maybe if I can help them with that, that would be great.
Okay. So, you traveled Tokyo alone. I just want to say कि जब आप बाहर जाते हो तो आपकी फैमिली साथ में होती है,
Yeah.
या जब आप स्पोर्ट्स स्कूल के टूर्नामेंट्स में जाते हो तब आपके स्कूल के कोच जो कि फ़ैमिलियर
Yeah.
होते हैं, और जब आप एक इंटरनेशनल लेवल का टूर्नामेंट खेलने जाते हो, तब आप अकेले होते हो, किसी को जानते नहीं हो। तो आपने उस टाइम पे क्या चैलेंज फेस किए थे वहाँ पे और उसको कोप अप कैसे किया था?
Tokyo में तो I was fortunate enough कि my parents could accompany me. I went to Asian Games.
Break.
Asian Games
Asian
right
Games,
now.
okay.
And I had to go to Beijing alone. And I think because I think I'm the youngest on the team, and the other people are older, they treat you like a child as long as you're not playing. Because after you're playing, it's like you're my opponent, you're my rival kind of
Yes.
thing. So yeah, it's you're scared most of the time. You don't know these people, you don't know their language most of the time, because so many people from different states, not all of them are very fluent in English.
Yes.
And even when you go to another country, for China and Japan, people are not very comfortable with English. They prefer their own language. So you need to figure things out on your own. You need to understand what they're trying to communicate and what their sign language, because they will be using gestures to help you.
ओके, सो गाइज ये थी आज की हमारी खास बातचीत नतानिया जैन के साथ। और इतनी कम उम्र में इतने बड़े मुकाम हासिल करना, नतानिया जैन को हम बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देते हैं उनके भविष्य के लिए। तो थैंक यू सो मच, और आप हमारे चैनल को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब करें। थैंक यू सो मच।